Oh! Got some Mega Man ZX music to open up the stream today. Anyway, hi everybody! Welcome back to another episode of Left 4 Dead 2. We finished the story for the Left 4 Dead franchise as a whole with the final campaign of Left 4 Dead 2 last night. Not last night, it's been several days actually. I had to take some time off streaming because the 2-hour plus streams were burning me out. I didn't realize the campaigns... I couldn't remember that the campaigns were that long on Left 4 Dead. So that caught me off guard and it caught up to me finally. I forgot that my protocol for 2-hour plus streams, if it becomes a regular thing, is to just stream every other day. I only just remembered that like a couple hours ago. I was like, why am I feeling so burnt out? That's why. Anyway, let's jump back into it. Hard to turn off this music. But we gotta go. Alright. Let's do this. Oh, screen capture. There we go. Steam's having a Halo franchise sale. I already have all that shit on Xbox though. Master Chief Collection and all that. I didn't realize it was on Steam also, but I guess that makes sense. Right, so I was saying we finished the campaigns, right? We finished the final campaign for Left 4 Dead 2, we finished the story. And that wraps up the story for the whole franchise because there was only 2 games. Because Valve never went beyond 2 for most of their franchises. A running gag. What was it? Half-Life 2, Team Fortress 2, Left 4 Dead 2. They never went past 2. They're like, 2's it, man, 2's it. They probably... Honestly, they probably did just figure, like, anything beyond that just felt like they were milking the series, any franchise, and was probably just gonna feel like more of the same. So they probably wanted to end their franchises on a high note. Maybe. Maybe there's an actual reason that I don't know about, though, so... Yeah, since we finished the story, we're just gonna do what we did last time. We're gonna do the commentary mode. Oh, but I just realized I forgot to... I messed with my, I was doing something off stream and I lowered the game volume. There we go. There, go to extras. So we'll do the developer commentary mode, just like we did for the 7th stream of the first game. And then we'll have a couple bonus streams of this game after that. There's gonna be a part 8 and 9, which is gonna be the... I'm gonna showcase... It should only take like 15 minutes, showcasing the survival mode for both games. They're almost identical. And then we'll play the Cold Stream and The Last Stand. The 2 community-made campaigns for this game. So for today, it's just developer commentary. Should be nice and cozy. So everybody grab your blankies and pillows. Grab your blankies and pillows and get ready for a cozy stream. Commentary nodes contain audio commentary by the Valve development team. To start or stop a node, aim at any balloon icon and press your use button. In commentary mode, you cannot earn achievements and you'll be ignored by infected until the finale, which is also non-existent like in the first game as far as I can remember. They both say that they ignore you until the finale, but there is no actual finale. Like, that's irrelevant because you can't actually do the finale. Pretty sure it's the same across both games. This one might be the exception though, because I was having trouble remembering if that was the case or not. So, Left 4 Dead 1's commentary mode took place in its first campaign, No Mercy. This one takes place in the Parish, which is its final campaign. This is interesting. The demo for this game, which I also played before the game launched, or I think maybe I just tried the demo before I decided to buy the full game, way back on the Xbox 360 when this game was like brand new. The demo took place also here in the Parish. The final campaign. The difficulty, of course, defaults to easy because nothing's gonna attack you. Let's play as I'm feeling Coach. Go with Coach today. Yeah. 10 p.m. tonight, meet there. We go over the fence. Military shooting to kill. Reading the writing on the wall around the posters. Wait for official instruction. Wait my
I ain't
ass.
going no further, but y'all can make it back to the bridge from here.
Thanks, Virgil. You stay safe, brother.
Good luck now. I'm gonna see if I can help some other folks.
Okay, so we're on the wrong side of the river. Things could be worse. All we have to do is find the freeway. Take us to the bridge.
No sense in hanging out here.
Look, they refined them. They're a lot shinier now, more reflective. You can actually see the reflection of the environment on these things. You can't see the characters, but you can see like the buildings a little bit reflected off the icons here. I like the instruments. I think the instrumentation was actually slight for that first part, not this part, but the part right before this, the instrumentation was actually different for every campaign. This part always turns into like, you know, a little twanger or a banjo or something. Well, Virgil said y'all can make it back to the bridge from here, so I'm assuming we came from over there, but he couldn't drop us off any closer than this to the bridge. Assuming. Alright, let's start the commentary mode. Are we gonna get an introduction by Gabe Newell again, or is it gonna be somebody else's time?
Hi, my name is Gabe Newell, and welcome to Left 4 Dead 2.
There he is!
We love this style of zombie-driven cooperative gameplay. Tom Leonard and the rest of the Left 4 Dead 2 team had a great time building on the design and game mechanics of the original, and we hope you have as much fun playing the game as we did making it. To listen to a commentary node, put your crosshair over the floating commentary symbol and press your use key. To stop a commentary node, put your crosshair over the rotating node and press the use key again. Some commentary nodes may take control of the game in order to show something to you. In these cases, simply press your use key again to stop the commentary. Please let me know what you think after you've had a chance to play Left 4 Dead 2. I can be reached at gaben@valvesoftware.com. I get about 10,000 emails each time we release a game, and while I can't respond to all of them, I do read all of them. Thanks and have fun.
He's either really, really good at repeating himself verbatim, or that was basically the same exact message as the one he gave at the beginning of the commentary mode for the first game, but they edited in that line at the beginning about the, talking about Tom Leonard and the crew who built the sequel that we're playing now, Left 4 Dead 2. One or the other, right? Like he either just added that part and then the rest of the message was the same exact one, they just ripped it from the first game. Because it even ends exactly the same way. And his vocal tone, everything was identical. So he might have just recorded that one or two extra lines about Left 4 Dead 2, but then the rest of that voice message was totally just ripped from the first game. That's what that sounded like. I wouldn't put it past them if they did that. I don't mind either, it's whatever, you know? But, well, there you go. Also, that was loud as shit. That wasn't just you guys, like, it was loud as fuck for me too. So it's not like, it's not like I fucked up my audio settings. I triple checked them before we started there. Jesus Christ.
Oh, sure.
They're exactly where they're supposed to be. That scared the fuck out of me again. I forgot about that, dude. And it's, you know, that was loud as shit too, but I mean, that's intended to be loud. Jets are not quiet. Pretty realistic volume right there for that. It will fuck up your hearing just by flying by you. I know this because in a workplace I was at before, which was outdoors, we were near an airport, not even that close, but close enough, that a fighter jet like that took off once. I don't know why, it was a civilian airport, but they just decided to, like, I don't know. And yeah, I had earplugs in because the work I was doing, you know, required it because of the industrial noise. Even with the earplugs, I had to do this to actually like not feel discomfort when I heard the jet take off. I didn't even see the jet. It was so far away, and it still was that loud that I had to do this with earplugs on. I had to do that just to like avoid discomfort. I was like, holy shit, dude. Could not even hear my coworkers yelling, trying to talk to me.
We did a lot of work in Left 4 Dead 2 to make every campaign unique in terms of flavor and gameplay. This drove our decisions in regard to locale, lighting, population, music, and events. We wanted to create a continuous set of locations proceeding through the South, with the goal of making each location iconic and evocative. We drew up an overall world map of our version of the South, and charted out a journey through a variety of locations. While each location has its own particular common zombie types, we further differentiated each campaign by creating uncommon zombies, which are thematically tied to that location. The uncommon zombies also have specific gameplay mechanics that make them unique. In each campaign, the music blended specific elements of the location with the central recurring Left 4 Dead theme. We also designed new elements in each campaign where the director could take control in interesting ways, be it weather, unique paths, or types of crescendo events and finales.
Yeah, see, he kind of briefly alluded to the thing I just mentioned about the music. How the instruments for the intro music for each campaign were slightly different. That's kind of like part of what he was saying there about how they wanted to blend the main theme music of the game with each location that we visited throughout the story.
Since players spend the vast majority of their time shooting the common infected, we wanted to improve the feedback and visceral nature of this experience. In Left 4 Dead 1, we provided only the ability to shoot off limbs, with blood decals for bullet hits appearing only on the PC. Now, in Left 4 Dead 2, there are 43 unique ways to damage an infected, from gunfire through melee weapons all the way up to explosive damage. Because many of these wounds are non-fatal, players are able to wound an infected more than once, resulting in about 780 possible damage combinations. To create the appearance of a wound, we project a texture modified by an ellipsoid that culls the pixels of the wounded area from the infected, creating a cavity for the wound to fit into. To avoid memory overhead, instead of creating wound variants for each of the infected, the wounds are spawned as separate objects that work for the entire horde. Our scripting system allows us to spawn specific wounds from specific weapon hits. For example, the sniper rifle headshot explodes the head, and the axe creates a slash across the meaty areas of the body.
In other words, to summarize that, they put a lot of attention to detail to the wounds and injuries you can inflict on the infected based on the weapon you're using and where you hit them. Yeah, I don't think that was a thing in Xbox. Look at the, you guys see the little ring hanging off the shotgun? Also the fact that the holster that you can open up, it wiggles like it's loose. Look, when I move it. It's definitely a PC only thing. That definitely didn't happen.
Weapons over here!
That definitely did not happen on Xbox. Nor did it look this shiny and pretty either. Shotgun. This one. The only time I've ever seen somebody actually use... Not a holster, I called it a holster. The shoulder, whatever the fuck. I don't know why I called it a holster. The only time I've ever seen somebody use that little, well, I can't really point at it with my mouse because it controls the game. That little flip-out fucking shoulder stock. That's what it's called, the shoulder stock. That flip-out shoulder stock. The only time I've ever seen anybody use that for this particular model of shotgun, which I forget its name in real life, but was in Jurassic Park 1. It was that one hunter guy who's basically covering what's her name, one of the main characters, so that she could get to where she was gonna go safely without the velociraptors killing her. He goes and hides by a bush, right? And he like perches himself down over a log and sees a velociraptor in the distance. Not too far though. Like the shotgun could have been effective. But he decides to wait, right? And he sits there like this, and then he's like sitting there trying to be really quiet, but he grabs a little like gun stock, the stock right there. He flips it out, and he flips out that last little part too. He puts it up against his shoulder, and he just sits there and starts to wait. And the velociraptor goes out of view, and he's just like very quietly waiting. And then he gets ambushed and killed. Poor bastard. He never even got to fire it. I think he fires it once as he gets killed, but obviously he doesn't hit anything because he's already getting fucking mauled. That's the only time in any like video game or movie that I've seen somebody use the shoulder stock on this shotgun. They actually like flip it out and stuff and use it. Was that one scene in Jurassic Park 1 was it? Everybody else just kind of fires it like this. In the hip or something. Not even bothering to flip out the shoulder stock. They just do this.
The body piles were generated by tossing self-colliding ragdolls into a level in-game, then exporting out the result. We were able to use a debugging tool to drag them into artistic piles. Content creation at its most enjoyable. Unfortunately, the process was so efficient that it took only about 2 hours.
Like the fun was over too quick because it was too good. It worked too well, so we finished our work too fast.
Hey, I'm reloading.
We kind of wished it would have lasted longer. How often do you hear people say that about their work? I wish it had lasted longer. It's like a 1 in a million right there. When you're actually passionate about what you do. You love what you do, right? I remember I've had a few streams like that myself, actually. There's been a few games that I've played that I'm like, damn, that was over too quick. You know? And then there's other ones where I'm like, shit, I'm glad it's over. Kind of reminds me of like what I said just now about how I was burning out. As much as I love this game, the 2 hours flew by because I was enjoying it. Yeah, but the problem is that it does eat into other things that I have to do, and that was the main issue. That was like what was causing the burnout, is the fact that it was taking up such a huge chunk of time I'm not used to allotting or just streaming every day, that it was cutting too much into other things that I have to do, responsibilities, or even other hobbies too that I still enjoy. And that was causing the burnout, even though I was still enjoying the fucking game. So there's nuance to it too. Because when I'm not enjoying the game, 2 hours feels like an eternity, and with this game I always look and I'm like, damn, I can't believe that was 2 hours. Like, I didn't even notice, you know? Like, I was having so much fun. This is one of those games where I was having so much fun I don't even notice that it takes 2 hours. But there's other games where I'm just like, oof, yeah. Barely 2 hours? Yeah, this is a
The guiding sound design principles in Left 4 Dead, as well as Left 4 Dead 2, were to stay as organic as possible and to reflect the world within which the game takes place. For example, the monsters are all former human beings grotesquely transformed. And as such, all of their vocalizations are human performances with very little effects processing, if any at all. The challenge with the new character sounds in Left 4 Dead 2 was to keep them clearly audible for gameplay, reasonably believable at unrealistic distances, and clearly identifiable as unique. The existing bosses already used the pitch spectrum for differentiation, so we expanded into more characterizations. The Charger mutters unintelligibly to himself, the Spitter is trying to screech out her bile hairball, and the jockey, well, who knows what he's on about.
yeah. You hear him going, "Eh." I do find it interesting and off-putting or disturbing in the right way. Not excessively, you know, but in the right way. The way the Charger mutters. I do like that one. That's my favorite. It almost sounds like he's actually talking, you know, and it's just barely unintelligible, I guess we call it. Where it's like you could almost make out like a word or two, like, oh wait, did he just say something? But not really. Like if you pay attention enough, you realize it's still just gibberish. It's gibberish that almost sounds like it's not gibberish. Like he's actually trying to like communicate.
We wanted to improve the variation on the infected while keeping their memory footprint identical. The entire horde is never comprised of more than 5 head textures and 5 body textures. We use a luminosity lookup into a gradient texture for tinting variation, allowing us to not only get a hue variation, but also a luminosity variation. For example, we can make a black or white t-shirt out of the same texture map. The gradient is broken up into zones, so that we can tint areas of clothing and skin differently. The infected texture also includes 4 distinct masks for blood and detail, such as dirt or pond scum. We randomize both the gradients and the masks each time an infected is spawned. We also randomize the body and head meshes. resulting in nearly 20,000 available variations in a typical map, up more than tenfold from the original Left 4 Dead.
I mean, that does explain why this game feels and looks so much more richly detailed. Wait, when did I fire another shot? I remember shooting once and then reloading. When did I fire a second shot? I actually don't remember when the fuck I did that. But yeah, I only remember shooting one zombie.
Reload!
When deciding what to do about the music for Left 4 Dead 2, we faced some interesting challenges. Some of the music in Left 4 Dead 1 plays an iconic and important role in gameplay, and we felt that it shouldn't really be changed. On the other hand, the game is set in the southern United States, which is rich with musical identity, so we also felt that adding some local flavor to each campaign would really help set the tone for that campaign. The solution to bridging the gap between the new local campaign music and the more traditional horror music from the first game was solved in several ways. First, we kept all the original themes from Left 4 Dead 1, but arranged them in a style consistent with the local campaign's theme. Second, we wrote an overarching set of cinematic Southern Goth pieces for the entire game. Finally, we wrote new pieces for the new characters in the style of Left 4 Dead 1. By doing all of this, we established that these are new characters in new places, but they're sharing the experience of everyone else in the Left 4 Dead universe.
Well done. I'm surprised they didn't mention anything about the jukebox though, since they put it there. I guess they just wanted to emphasize that this node was about music. Hold on. Can we do this?
Hey Tom, it's Bob from the office down the hall.
One more time.
It's good to see you, buddy. How have you been?
With the people in the back.
Things have been okay for me,
Good luck.
except that I'm a zombie now. I really wish you'd let us in.
They haven't taken any damage yet.
I think I speak for all of us when I say I understand why you folks might hesitate to submit to our demand. But here's an FYI, you're all gonna die screaming.
It's on!
Hey, watch out!
No one can keep your eyes.
Reloading here! Reloading! Reloading!
Maybe that's
They did it,
okay
dude.
for now, but someday you'll be out of food and guns.
Took a couple hits,
And
but
you'll
they're fine.
have to make the call. I'm not surprised to see you haven't thought it through enough. You never had the head.
Gotta make sure the left and right speaker were balanced. Gotta face that spot.
But Tom, that's what I do, and I plan on eating you slowly. All we want to do is eat your brains. We're not unreasonable. I mean, no one's gonna eat your eyes. All we want to do is eat your brains. We're at an impasse here. Maybe we should compromise. Open up the door. We'll all come inside and eat your brains. I'd like to help you, Tom, in any way I can. I sure appreciate the way you're working with me. I'm not a monster, Tom.
the whole zombie vibe.
Got another meeting, Tom. Maybe we could wrap it up. No, we'll get to common ground somehow. Meanwhile, I'll report back to my colleagues who were chewing on the doors. I guess we'll table this for now. I'm glad to see you take constructive criticism well. Thank you for your time. I know we're all busy as hell. And we'll put this thing to bed when I bash your head open.
That line, dude. It just makes me picture him grabbing him by the head and just...
I mean, no one's gonna eat your eyes.
Slamming him up against the... piece of concrete or something.
We're at an impasse here. Maybe we should compromise. You open up the door. We'll all come inside and eat your brains.
Dylan! You son of a bitch.
There you go. Bravo! Thank you, Jonathan Colton, for giving us a legendary masterpiece for this, legendary masterpiece of a game. Great song for a great game. Well, I think they just licensed it. I think he just made that song on his own and they just wanted it for the game, so they licensed it for it. I never actually looked it up, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't made just for this game. Meaning I didn't look it up recently, but I remember years ago when this game was relevant. At some point I did look it up. And yeah, I think it was pretty much just the song he, I said it before, yeah, the first time we heard it, that it was a song that was meant to, like, kind of humorously comment on, the little petty rivalries and petty drama that happened in, like, office culture grind, you know? The little, like, passive-aggressive ways that people in office culture grind settings kind of go at each other.
$5 beer right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, $5 beer over here. $1. Well, still, whatever. But yeah, that's basically what the song is intended to be.
Reloading.
And he just decided to use like the theme of zombies to express that. And then these guys were like, hey, why not? Let's add it to our game. And they licensed it. That's how I remember it anyway, when I researched it way back then. But I haven't researched it again to see if that's actually the way it went down. Also, when I added it to Spotify, I've been listening to it off stream ever since we, you know, rediscovered it or whatever. Since I rediscovered it by playing this and streaming it, right? I think the dude's still touring too. Like, he's gonna do a tour somewhere. I saw it, like, when artists go on tour and they list it on Spotify and you're listening to one of their songs, it'll show up. It'll say, hey, this artist is gonna tour somewhere, like, you know, near your area, or even if it's not near your area, they'll tell you, like, that they're gonna be live somewhere. And yeah, I saw that for Jonathan Colton. Dude's still, he's still playing live.
The infected textures are part hand-painted, part photographic reference. One of our team members had a nightmare folder full of photographs of people suffering from bizarre diseases and injuries. They were so hard to look at that the infected actually contained none of these. Instead, the secret ingredients for infecting normal-looking human textures are photos of housing insulation and potato skins.
That was a nice debate. They're like, yeah, this person, we're not going to name him for the sake of his, you know, letting him have some privacy and anonymity and protecting his reputation, but we have a real freak in our office who actually has like a whole folder of real life diseases and injuries that nobody could stand looking at because they were so horrifying. And the dude was like gonna use it for this, but then we all decided, dude, nobody can look at that without wanting to throw up, so we're not gonna use that. And then they just, yeah. That's pretty fucking funny, honestly. It's like they had gold material to work with, real life injuries and stuff that they could have drawn from, but none of the artists could look at that and then port it into the game because it was just giving them fucking nightmares. Probably like looking at burn victims, people with like leprosy and shit. Yeah, I wouldn't want to see that shit either, dude. I don't want to see real life pictures of all that crap. I don't blame them. I don't blame the artists for not wanting to look at that just so they could put it on the zombies or something. Like, I'm good, dude. I ain't looking at that shit and traumatizing myself for life. That ain't worth it. That ain't worth this job, man.
We wanted to invoke the feeling that the infected have lost their humanity and behave like feral animals. Seeing their eyes glow in the dark like those of a deer in headlights helps illustrate this. To create that effect, we authored the shader for the infected so that an artist could mark the regions that should reflect light towards the viewer in a texture. The artists quickly realized that they could also use this feature to make retro-reflective safety materials on clothing, which they put to use on several of the uncommon characters. You now see this effect on riot gear, CEDA hazmat suits, and construction vests. As a side benefit, we found that the retro-reflective effect also helped players identify targets in very dark areas.
So it spawned these guys, but they killed them immediately. Let me see if I can...
We wanted to invoke the feeling that the infected have lost their humanity and behave like feral animals.
Hold on. Your glowing eyes on that.
We wanted to invoke the feeling that the infected have lost...
I think you need the flashlight to actually see it.
We wanted to invoke the feeling that the infected have lost their humanity and
glowing
behave
eyes.
like feral animals.
I got it. Yeah, I missed that because I activated the node while facing the wrong way. I was like this.
This restaurant was one of the first areas we populated with tables and chairs. In early playtests, a survivor would pop a boomer, and the resulting explosion sent tables and chairs flying everywhere. It was a great effect. We decided to furnish a few more areas like this, so that more players would be likely to experience it at some point in the campaign.
Oh, we were supposed to shoot the boomer. It took too long to get to that part. I didn't realize that. Okay, let me try it again.
This restaurant was one of the first areas we populated with tables and chairs.
Hey, that's pretty cool. I didn't notice that. Yeah, the tables and chairs just went flying everywhere when I shot them just now. That's pretty cool.
Don't shoot that car.
That really adds to the effect of the boomer, honestly. That's such a nice detail. Holy shit.
The pipe bomb has always been a crowd pleaser, but in Left 4 Dead 1 we were forced to disable ragdolls and jibs and replace them with a blood mist due to performance issues. This time, with a new wound system, a new ragdoll solver and new particle effects, we finally returned to our original vision. The pipe bomb causes visually catastrophic damage to the infected horde, to the delight of gamers and designers alike.
Pipe bomb for me.
Yeah, but I still... That is pretty catastrophic. And now we know we're just looking at shredded potato skins. That right there. Blood and guts. It's just shredded potato skins. But I still like the red goopy mist. I mentioned that before. I like the body parts going blind, but they could have kept the red goopy mist too. Why not both, you know? It's interesting to think, like, do you hear how he talks about it? Like, we have all these new effects, like particles and shaders and all this stuff. It's literally only been a year since the last game came out at this point. Like, they're only a year apart. Like, isn't it insane how much, like, video game technology was just, like, advancing at that time? That within 1 year, they were able to, like, change so much shit. At this point, I don't think it's become stagnant. It's just that all the new, like, the graphics and effects have reached a point where improvements are causing that effect, what's it called, diminishing returns. We're just getting diminishing returns at this point. Like, the biggest changes happened during this time period in terms of things going to looking and effects and graphics becoming more realistic. Once they reach a certain point, the changes are so subtle now that only somebody who really pays attention to things like that will actually notice it. That they're not like, it's not like very dramatic leaps and bounds anymore. The improvements and stuff like that. Not like, you know. Yeah. Every new like hardware update and stuff, it's just like it adds new things that are just kind of subtle, and you'll only really notice it if you're really into that, into like paying attention to that stuff. It's not as dramatic anymore. It changes in fidelity and all that.
Ain't got no time for this shit. Get in here.
Damn. Don't make Coach mad, y'all.
Well, close that door now.
Hold on.
Son of a bitch.
Good luck, guys.
This is it.
Oh, I can't go up the stairs. I didn't realize that was there. Well, that gets moved onto the front of the door. Once we close it and the next chapter starts, this stuff gets moved there. And then we can go up the stairs.
Gotta reload.
Someone want to close that door?
You guys got this. Nick's like, what the?
Reloading.
See?
Close the door behind us.
No problem, they got it. I love his laughter when he's the one that closes the door. Keep this just for tonight. We got time for this, Ellis.
In Left 4 Dead 2, we wanted to give players who were looking for a narrative a little more. To do this, we introduced the 4 survivors to each other and the infection as we begin the game. This lets us see the world changing through their eyes, and the world is changing. Each new campaign shows us a different stage in reaction to the infection. We start with Sita's naive, underwhelming response, and end with the military's cold but needed resolve to save only those they can. We also connect each campaign. So while you know you escape Whispering Oaks and Dark Carnival, you also know that it's just one escape of many on your journey to safety in New Orleans. Time does pass between campaigns, but each campaign starts with the previous rescue vehicle. We also continue to spread hints and clues to the infection. There is more story in the dialogue this time around, but players should still search for and read graffiti and notes in the world. Observant players of Left 4 Dead will notice some tie-ins to the story as both games are set in the same world.
Yeah, true. The writing on the wall and everything else, yeah. Military's cold but needed resolve to save those they can, like killing off the ones that they
Here
couldn't.
I am.
I don't know if you guys heard it, but Ellis did his little story about sucking the heads or whatever. The crawfish thing we heard about. That explains why Joe Baker eats crawfish as a form of restoring health in Resident Evil 7. It takes place in Louisiana, so... a fictional place called Dolby. At least I think it is. Let's see. No, I need to be able to see the... hold on. Gotta be able to see the stream preview.
The new Special Infected were designed with a variety of goals in mind. They needed to fill in gaps left by the other specials. They needed to provide interesting combos with other Infected. And they needed to offer a new, fun set of skills for players to master, whether they were playing as or against the Infected. When we began Left 4 Dead 2, we had a list of several dozen Infected types that had been discussed over the past several years. We added a fair number of new designs to those, and eventually whittled our list down to the final 3: the Charger, the Spitter, and the Jockey. The best survivor teams stick close together and buckle down under attack, quickly fending off Infected attacks. To provide an opening for the Infected to capitalize upon, we created the Charger. His charge attack not only separates members from the group, but will bowl down tightly clumped survivors, giving a few crucial moments for the other Infected to attack. The only non-boss Infected who's immune to being bashed, his design encourages players to keep a quick trigger finger and a watchful eye on their companions, while also keeping their distance. The Spitter's area of denial attack serves a variety of purposes. While the initial pool of acid permits a few moments for escape, its damage increases as the acid begins to do its work. Lingering in or passing through the pool of acid is a dangerous proposition, and it can quickly force a group of survivors out of a tight spot, or drive a wedge between members of a group. The Jockey is the one special that retains control after he's begun his incapacitating attack. He's also the only special that allows a survivor to maintain enough control to fight back. The well-played Jockey has many ways of driving a survivor to a deadly end, either at the hands of other infected, or through the environment itself. Just getting a survivor far enough out of the group for another special to prey upon is often the Jockey's greatest strength. All of these special types provide unique opportunities for combined attacks alongside the classic Hunter, Smoker, and Boomer.
Yeah. You guys noticed that until those special infected spawned just now, these guys, the NPCs were like...
Reload!
Look at their health bars, man. Without special infected, the game is way too easy for them, for the AI. They were doing so well, they were like not even taking any damage up to this point, this entire first chapter. This part alone just annihilated their health. Like Rochelle and Ellis are fucked up compared to just like a minute ago.
Yeah, somebody's gonna need these.
Yeah, you.
Come on,
Where'd the Spitter go? They never killed her. She might have despawned after the node stopped talking though.
The park started out having several paths that were dynamically changed for added replayability. However, playtesters found the paths confusing. When we removed the dynamic objects that forced survivors to go in certain directions, we found that having all paths open led to a better experience. Players still spend a lot of time in the park, but they could choose to go different ways every time they played the level.
They don't force you to go different ways now. They just made it optional. Okay.
Boom about here. Incoming!
Reloading!
Shoot the armored zombies in the back.
Grenade!
Good to go.
Jesus.
Hey, look out!
Shoot that zombie in the back! Weapons over here!
Heads up!
With the added variety of weapons in Left 4 Dead 2, we wanted to encourage players to scavenge weapons and switch between them frequently. We found that placing ammo piles scattered through the level fought against this goal, as players tended to find one gun they liked and then never switch, as long as they had practically endless ammo. We experimented with removing ammo piles from most of the environments, so that the only way to get more ammo was to find a new gun, and we immediately saw players switching weapon types more frequently. We also experimented with giving players deployable ammo packs, similar to the upgrade packs such as the incendiary and explosive ammo that are in the game today. Carrying an ammo pack was perceived as being less valuable than carrying a health kit though, and many players bypassed the item, counting on finding another gun along the way. We found it was important, however, to continue to place ammo piles in the finale areas, to give players a home base to fight from in the longer set-piece battles.
So there used to be a portable...
Ammo here!
Regular ammo packs, not just the incendiary and explosive ones. But then they cut that from the game because nobody thought it was worth it, trading a med pack for that. Makes sense. Now, if it's anything like the commentary mode from the first game, they're not going to put nodes, commentary nodes, like too far out of the way of the main path. park's probably not gonna have a lot of. It's probably just gonna have that one right there, and then there's not gonna be another one for the other side of the park.
Look out now!
Look out!
Reloading.
Yeah, see, right there. See, now Ellis is getting fucked up.
Adrenaline shot here.
That jockey took down his health quite a bit.
Hey, I'm reloading.
Bang, 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 bang.
Reloading.
The animators experimented quite a bit with the movement styles of the new special infected in order to help them contrast with the existing specials. Some early passes at the spitter featured awkward, bouncy, bird-like movements with knock knees and pigeon toes. She certainly looked different, but it was a little too humorous and didn't project enough of a feeling of strength and danger. So she ended up with much more aggressive posing and actions. We tried a few animal-inspired runs for the jockey, including sideways leaping hops like a lemur and a four-legged hyena-like gallop. These fit with his maniacal laughter, but again, needed to be more aggressive. Such movements also would have caused problems maneuvering the character and reading its intentions in-game, especially in versus mode. They also seemed too much of a mutation from the character's original human state when considering the amount of time from the start of his infection. The jockey's final movement pass has him on two legs with just the right touch of animal inspiration. A menacing, predatory hunch and hands bent rather like a praying mantis, ready to give survivors a big, deadly hug.
I can use a hand here.
You ain't so good to us down here. We gotta get you back on your feet.
Whew, thanks, Ellis. I guess I will keep you.
Anything for you, Rochelle.
Now I'm feeling right.
Hey, can somebody watch my back? I'm gonna heal.
Some light flirting there.
Much, much better now.
Between the two of them. It's interesting how when special infected spawn from me talking to these nodes, sometimes these guys shoot them right away and other times they don't. Like they killed the charger pretty fucking quick. You remember that. But that jockey, they just let him have at it. I don't know why that is. How they programmed the AI partners here. Kind of weird. They killed the charger like immediately. Didn't even get to look at it do anything. But then the jockey and the spitters, they just let him go. Same with the boomer from earlier. They kind of just let it go.
Reloading.
Through here.
In Left 4 Dead 1, long narrow hallways usually meant relative safety for survivors. One player could cover the front, and another could cover the rear, while players in the middle healed. With the addition of the charger, however, the long and narrow hallways in Left 4 Dead 2 turn out to be extremely dangerous.
That's true. They thought of everything, didn't they? Because now you can no longer feel safe. Although I think chargers still feel the most dangerous when there's ways to get knocked out of bounds and die instantly, like falling off a roof or something. No, for some reason the way I look at those windows, they almost look like doors. I was like, is that a door on that? And it kind of is. I mean, look at the one at the top of the fire escape. Like they double up as doors and windows at the same time. Anyway.
The two overpasses in this area continue throughout the rest of the campaign, and eventually meet up with the bridge that the survivors must cross to escape. When we initially designed the campaign, we planned for these overpasses to guide players to their eventual goal.
Reloading.
Sounds about right. Just take 10.
Restricted area.
Oh, revival closet. I found this when I played through the story. I never found the no photos poster he was talking about though.
Photography prohibited.
What in the hell's a picture gonna do?
Yeah, I still don't see it.
Get ready to run.
There.
First aid here.
The alarm scenario at the bus station was the first Left 4 Dead 2 Crescendo event to feature the Gauntlet mode, where players must navigate along a path to deactivate the zombie rush. This proved to be a successful approach to countering the camping strategy of finding an optimal corner and holding out.
Just make a crescendo event where you have to move to finish it, that it'll never stop until you reach a certain physical location. And you can't just sit in one spot and shoot everything, yeah. Makes sense. Good luck, guys.
Let's go! Hey, get up there, turn it off!
I could always check to see how long these guys will last if I never stop
turn
this.
it off, turn it off!
Stay in your group.
They
That's
won't
what
attack
I
me.
keep saying.
Coach is like, stay in your group, that's what I keep saying. We all should stay together. It's not actually playing the...
We gotta turn off the alarm!
We're not getting attacked, so never mind.
Alright!
Left 4 Dead 1 had a good, fictionally justifiable cast of guns, the M16 being a standard police and military weapon, for example. In Left 4 Dead 2, we had the opportunity to do something a bit less generic and use some more interesting guns, while still being aware that we had to justify their place in the game. The Desert Rifle, for example, is used to suggest that the military had rerouted guns meant for the Middle East back to deal with the domestic crisis, hence the desert camouflage scheme on the gun. The ever-popular AK-47, which is actually part AK-74, is so plentiful that it's easy to justify its appearance almost anywhere, whereas the silenced SMG is more of an underground, criminal-looking weapon, so it's interesting to think how this has found its way into the survivors' hands. The hunting rifle from Left 4 Dead 1 is back, and we've added a military sniper rifle, which is double the clip size and is more of a scoped semi-automatic assault rifle, rather than the classic bolt-action sniper rifle, which would be ineffective against the Horde. Left 4 Dead 2 also features a variety of pistols, including a custom civilian handgun, a standard issue police sidearm, and a large caliber magnum.
Very cool. Oh, where'd my shotgun go?
Keep running!
I think it just despawned. Too many guns. Why they didn't comment on that one? The semi-automatic shotgun that I had is different
Weapons
from the regular
here!
one.
Turn it off!
What is the reload animation on this like? That's pretty cool. That's satisfying. A criminal silenced machine pistol, yeah. That is the vibe that I definitely... When I first saw it, even back then,
we got guns,
and now, without remembering this note here and what it said, that is the vibe that I got from it. I was like, because it's like,
get to the alarm.
If it's silenced, what else would it be for, right? Except for doing shady shit, like criminal activity. What other reason would you need it to be silenced for? It's the only reason to silence it is to do something hella shady. So. Yeah, that is definitely the vibe. This one also has a fold-out stock like the shotgun I just had.
Guns!
They said the AK-47 is part AK-74, which is interesting. They like merged the two. They merged the two real-life assault rifles into one for this particular model. That's kind of true. The standard AK-47 doesn't quite look like that. So it's like they did kind of merge the, or maybe that's a real-life thing too. Do they merge them? Is there like a model that merges the AK-74 with the 47? I don't know. I only know in Call of Duty, the one that I played the most was Black Ops because we played zombies. I know that one... I think that one has the AK-74U? Yeah, the AK-74U. Without the shoulder stock, I think. And then it has the regular AK-47 as well.
Shit, should have taught this class.
He's like, hell yeah, dude, let's go. Nice. Got an AK.
We got to turn off that alarm.
Maybe one of them took my shotgun, actually. I think Nick took it and then he switched to the AK just now. That's why he said nice. Let's see. Let me go back.
Turn it off!
No. No, it literally just despawned. Alright. Well, it's not like I needed it.
Because Left 4 Dead 1 took place entirely during the night, it was fairly straightforward to light the path we wanted players to take. For campaigns that take place during the day, we had to find other tools to help the player along. The most valuable tools were visible landmarks, such as gas station signs, overpasses, the bridge, and smoke from wrecked aircraft.
Highlands!
Turn off the alarm!
That email really completes it. I know you're just quoting the NPCs screaming that shit over and over. Oh my god, turn off the alarm! I got a pissed off face. Oh my god.
As with our efforts to replace the first aid kit, replacing the pain pills item was a challenge. Initial versions of Adrenaline allowed players to run faster and perform certain actions faster, such as reviving other players. Temporary health points, which is enough health for injured players to run at full speed again. So the Adrenaline needed something extra.
It's all alright.
Hold on, I need to restart this one. I wanted to give a shout out to Lantis. But if I click out of the fucking window, we can't hear the audio. So I had to just stop it. I was like, damn it. Here we go. Hope you're having a good evening, sis. I can only hear it in one ear. Do you know how annoying that is? Oh, the alarm? Like the alarm, you can only hear it down. I'm so sorry. That's gotta be awful. So you were not quoting the characters. You were being serious. You were like, shut the fucking alarm. I thought you were just quoting them and trying to be funny with the little emoji, but you were being serious. You're like, shut the fucking thing off, man. That shit's annoying. Oh god. I'm so sorry. Oh, I must have accidentally pushed it and turned it off.
Adrenaline shot here.
I didn't know you actually wanted me to turn it off. I was about to leave it on the whole time while letting this dude talk. Thank you for the shout out, bro. Yeah, you're welcome, sis. Anytime. Alright, let's listen to what he had to say.
As with our efforts to replace the first aid kit, replacing the pain pills item was a challenge. Initial versions of Adrenaline allowed players to run faster and perform certain actions faster, such as reviving other players. But the pills already give 50 temporary health points, which is enough health for injured players to run at full speed again, so the Adrenaline needed something extra. We expanded the actions that could be affected by Adrenaline, shortening the time it takes to use health kits, defibrillators, and upgrade packs. We sped up the player beyond their normal maximum speed and made them resistant to being slowed down by hits from the infected. Although it doesn't give as much health as the pain pills, we found many interesting strategies began to emerge from the well-timed use of Adrenaline.
Yeah, actually, this is a great place for them to have talked about it, because I think I used it to save my own ass from a tank here. Because right after I turned the alarm, I immediately ran down there like a fool, while these guys were still catching up. And there was a tank right there, inside the doorway. You can see this on the previous stream. And he started beating my ass because these guys were hella far away, so he was only focused on me, and I couldn't really do anything to defend myself because a tank can just stun lock you if you're the only one around. I think I managed to get a few pot shots, but he was gonna kill me, and I think I was at very one-digit health. I was right about to go down, and I popped an Adrenaline right as they caught up, and they distracted him just long enough for me to use the fucking health pack like this. Oh right, I can't use it because I'm at full health, but like that.
I'll fix you. Oh yeah.
Super fast like that. And I just barely managed to escape
As with our efforts to replace...
I don't know. A shot. I barely managed to not go down thanks to that. So yeah, he's cooking with that. Like, that was pretty cool that they... I do have memories from many years ago where players would do some clutch shit with Adrenaline shots at the right time. Because I did watch Left 4 Dead 2 YouTube videos a couple times back in the day. But even when I played co-op or versus to try it out back then, I would see really good players know how to use Adrenaline really well. I was quoting Rochelle, but I was also missing a lot of the conversation. Okay, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize the alarm was actually that annoying. Turn off the alarm! Like an angry ass emoji. I'm being serious, shut the fuck up.
About here.
Can't hear shit.
Grabbing the bow, John.
Yeah, wait, I never came in here last time. What the fuck? I totally skipped past that room. At the bus stop. Are you ready? Oh, the bus stop. Yeah, the tank was just sitting right here. He just came out swinging and beat my ass.
As we added more special infected characters to Left 4 Dead 2, we faced a challenge in designing unique sounds for them that players could easily recognize and distinguish from the other specials and from the common infected. In Left 4 Dead, the 4 male specials each had both a distinct tonal range and a character attribute to keep them unique. For instance, the Boomer's vocalizations were kind of a slow, deep, bassy, gastric horror. As we added the new specials into the mix, it became increasingly difficult to avoid impinging on the sonic space of the previous specials. We found that we couldn't rely so much on using the tonal range for distinction, and instead had to push harder on characterization to help them to read clearly to players. For example, the jockey is in the high, bright tonal range of the smoker, and even the upper end of the hunter. But since the infection has left his brain in a constant state of hysterical mania, his vocalizations read clearly apart from these other specials. Sometimes it can be challenging to find a characterization that will lend itself to both a special's active and idle or lurking modes. For instance, with the Charger, we started out with a non-verbal angry muttering, kind of a griping bark that we all liked. Though the personality in his idle states was interesting and distinct, we found that we needed to ramp his vocalizations up to a more sustained yell for his attacks to get the right sonic intensity for these events. In subsequent playtests, however, we found that players were often surprised when attacked by the Charger, as they would associate him only with the aggressive attack vocalizations he makes from the point that he sees them through his charge, and since he would generally see players before they saw him, they didn't have a chance to connect him with the angry, non-verbal mutterings of his idle states. So we ended up recording new vocalizations for these states, mixing in elements of his more strident calls and yells amid the gripes and barks of his idle states, so that players could more readily make the leap to recognizing a lurking Charger in the vicinity.
That's pretty cool. Interesting. You said having a second functional ear for directional hearing is a luxury I do not have. Oh, so that's how... Oh yeah, because you told me your deafness is in one ear, right? I forgot about that particular detail. For some reason, I thought that the deafness that you suffer from was in both ears. Or is it? Am I still misinterpreting that? I remember you said it, that, yeah, you do have it in one ear, right? Or does it affect both? I mean, you don't have to answer anything, but either way, what you said, that's something I hadn't really thought of. That kind of reminds me of like what happens when somebody only has one eye.
Reloading.
I have 80% hearing in my good ear. Okay. Because like when switching to optics, if someone only has one eye, they don't have depth perception. They can't readily tell how far or how close something is, unless they have plenty of prior experience. But otherwise they can't do that. And so I guess with hearing, that would be its counterpart for hearing, is that you won't be able to tell where sounds are coming from if you don't have both ears functioning properly. Makes sense. I never saw that before. Echolocation requires two. Open office, can't tell which phone is ringing. Oof, that's rough. I'm so sorry.
I was telling you about the time my grandpa took me on a bus to Memphis and visit Graceland, and we...
Alice, we don't have time for that right now.
Nick, you ever even been to Graceland? Man, y'all should have come. It was so much fun.
We didn't even know who you were back then, dude. Alice is so innocent and like sweet. It's awesome. He's such a good kid. So funny.
Heads up.
I feel like he would have been a great, like he'd be a great friend to have had before the whole zombie apocalypse happened. That's good. I would 100% go to Graceland with Ellis, exactly. He's such a kind soul. He's like unaware of how unintentionally funny he is, you know, like it's he's so wholesome and sweet. He's shooting through me over here. He's all, man, it was so much fun, you guys should have come. Like as if he knew us back then.
The Source Engine's animation system is a powerful tool that lets us create animations procedurally instead of authoring each of them individually by hand. There are various reasons for doing this, which become clear when we consider the challenge of animating the jockey riding a survivor. From the start of the jockey's design, we wanted the survivor to be able to fight back to some degree. With that in mind, we decided it would be vital for the survivor to know the jockey's intent, regardless of how successful he was at acting on it. So even though you may be stuck against a table going nowhere with a jockey on your back, we want you to understand that the jockey is really trying to get you out that door at the end of the room and around a corner where your friends can't help you. To accomplish this, we implemented a system of animation layers for the survivor that would work in conjunction with the jockey. These layers are attached to different controls that the code interacts with, called pose parameters. The first layer consists of the survivor's upper body from the waist up, which allows the survivor's reactions to work in sync with the jockey's motion. The second layer is the survivor's locomotion, constrained to the lower half of his body from the waist down. So, in the scenario we just described, when the jockey is in full control and has a clear path to the door, the code tells the upper body of the survivor and the body of the jockey to lean in that direction, and sets a pose parameter for the survivor's legs to move along that vector as well. However, things get more interesting when the survivor regains some control and steers himself to get stuck on the table. Even though you have stopped moving towards the door, we don't want the jockey's animation to suddenly sit straight up and give the impression he isn't still trying to steer you there. By splitting the survivor's animation into two different animation layers that we composite together, your upper body and the jockey can remain leaning towards the door, while the code tells the legs to stop walking because you're stuck on the table and can't advance. This robust system of procedurally compositing upper and lower body animation layers and position in real time, as we've shown in this case, saved us a lot of authoring time as well as memory inside the game, both of which are finite and very valuable on any project.
And there he goes.
Hey, I don't mean to be
Holy
scared, you know.
shit.
Don't forget to close the door. Go down like that again, and that's it.
Whew, thanks.
Anything for you, Ro.
He said it again. Anything for you, Rochelle, he said last time. Now he said anything for you, Ro.
Close that door.
That was a very technical explanation that was a little difficult to focus on with all the screaming going on in the back. It's just everybody. It's just trying to. It's like trying to listen to a college lecture with that. Just. You know what I'm saying? Like. I was trying my damnedest to focus too. I was just like, trying to write notes. You know the little notes emoji that a lot of streamers have? At the little, like I know NECA has one with the drool coming out the mouth and hanging out. That was me. I was like, while listening to all that screaming. Yeah, that. There you go. I didn't know if the jockey was gonna despawn or not, but as soon as the node stopped, I was planning on doing
close that door.
On throwing this at the jockey. I kinda wanna try it.
Come on, Alice.
If the jockey dies or something, I'll stop the node, because we're gonna hear the whole explanation again. So I will stop it, so we don't have to hear the whole thing again. But I wanna see if the horde can actually kill this thing.
The Source Engine's animation system is a powerful tool that lets us create animations procedurally instead of authoring each of them individually by hand. There are various reasons for doing this, which become clear when we can.
Yep, they got him. They killed him pretty fast. I was like, here they come. They destroyed him. Also, I took my first point of damage. I caught a stray. The jockey hit me with his standard attack. Because that's what they do when they're on cooldown. Like if a special infected thinks, if the AI of a special infected thinks they can't get to a hiding spot fast enough to survive, like they're gonna get shot and killed, they'll just resort to this. They'll just start attacking, you know, the nearest person until somebody kills them. That's what the jockey was doing when he was just like swiping his hand. Until their cooldown, you know, they can do their main attack again once it's cooldown, and then they'll do it. Otherwise, they just do that though. That's why the jockey kept doing that. When he was destroying the whole team. But yeah, I got hit by a swipe when Michelle went down.
This freeway's gotta hook up with the bridge.
You know what? We probably can't test it here. I have to go to expert mode so I can actually like friendly fire my teammates. I kind of want to show the defibrillator how it works. But somebody has to die for that to so. Well, maybe we'll see what happens.
Up until Left 4 Dead 2, all playtests conducted at Valve required an observer from the team to sit behind each tester and observe them directly. For Left 4 Dead 2, we developed a system where a single observer could view each playtester's screen in parallel with webcams that captured the playtester's reaction. We recorded every playtest so we could go back and reference specific moments at will. This meant that most of the team could continue working during the playtest, which often takes several hours out of every day.
Let me see that last bit again.
Up until Left 4 Dead 2, all playtests conducted at Valve.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that made it more efficient. Yeah, that was more time and cost efficient for them. And now they didn't have to stop working. So basically, they turned their playtesters into Twitch streamers before Twitch streaming was a thing. It's right there.
Up until Left 4 Dead 2, all playtests conducted at Valve
they could view each playtester's screen in parallel with webcams that captured their reaction. Exactly what I'm doing right now. There you go. They invented Twitch streaming before Twitch streaming was a thing. I think Justin.tv might have already existed by 2009. I don't think so though. But I'm pretty sure it came into being shortly after that though. But there was already YouTube Let's Plays, which technically counts. It wasn't live. It was recorded, but it's still the same thing, right? Just you're not interacting in real time with the streamer. But it was the same thing. There was people showing themselves on webcam playing the game. So technically that concept was already around since like the early days of YouTube, just not live streaming per se. But maybe that's where they got the idea. This is a chicken and egg question, isn't it? We need to find out who came up with it first. Was it Valve? Or was it YouTubers who came up with the idea of a webcam and playing video games at the same time? I don't know. Gotta do some research.
Reloading.
Reload. I remember one of my cousins actually did they didn't use
weapons here.
Webcams were really not that common. I think we had one, but we didn't think about doing this. But one of my cousins actually recorded. We didn't have a game capture card either. They used a regular camera on a tripod, which we still have, to record a TV. It was an old CRT monitor to record themselves doing the Sephiroth optional boss fight, super boss fight in Kingdom Hearts 2. They recorded just the gameplay off the TV. I don't know if they actually uploaded it to YouTube. I think they did. It might be on one of my brother's accounts. I gotta ask him if he still has that YouTube video uploaded somewhere. Actually, I kind of want to know. But I need you guys to get the hell out of the way. Okay, it's just a defib here. All right, this was optional. We just keep going.
This drop onto the bus shows a good example of what we call a return. If a survivor walks on top of the bus, he has a height advantage against the infected. However, a smoker can pull him down off the bus so that he has to go around and up the stairs to get back with the rest of the team.
Yeah. Sets you back. And isolates you, which makes it easier for the smoker or any other special infected to finish you off too. since staying together with your team is like the only way to survive in this.
I'm a reload.
Especially if you're doing versus against another coordinated team of infected.
Setting fires to zombies was always a high point in Left 4 Dead, and we wanted even more ways to light zombies on fire in Left 4 Dead 2. This dream gave rise to incendiary ammo. Initially, we dispensed incendiary ammo and later explosive ammo from fixed ammo boxes placed through the levels. These boxes could be used many times by a player. But while this was fun for playtesters, we found that they were either hesitant to progress away from the item or hoarded the special ammo until they really needed it. We tried replacing one of our previous experiments, the ammo pack, with a version that deployed a 1 use per player ammo upgrade box. This allowed players to carry the upgrade pack until they sensed they would need a little more firepower in an upcoming arena, and the player carrying it gets the satisfaction of providing a substantial buff to his teammates.
Party buff! Basically what I just did, yeah. This must
Fire
be the
bullets here!
Oh, they're both in there, never mind. If it was explosive, I probably would have taken that. You can be the support character by carrying one of those. But then you can't be the healer because you sacrifice a medpack slot. It's true survival horror. You have to make choices.
This right here messed some shit up.
What's this? Well, the nodes are never off the path, so I think I can kind of just run through here. I'll be fine.
There was some kind of...
Oh! There was some kind of war going on here, but it interrupted his line just because he took fall damage. He didn't actually though, because I'm still in that. I might have immunity to fall damage though, I don't know.
As with the Smoker, the Spitter has a gameplay style which necessitates making her more visible to the player at a distance. Since the Spitter's strategy is to hit and run, striking at the survivors from far away, we needed distinct visual markers to differentiate her in the dark spaces during the chaos of combat. To this end, we concocted a glowing drool that would illuminate her and create a sharp contrast to the other game colors, while playing off the green death motif associated with the infection. The trail she leaves, which is visually similar to her projectile attack, allows players a brief chance to track her movements when she retreats to hide.
I like how the spit is also like, they called it a hairball. I always thought there was something peculiar about it whenever I would see it flying, like, usually at me, of course. I was like, what's up with I was like, why does the acid spitball look like... Yeah, kind of like hairy gum or something. That's what it was supposed to look like. Until they said it, I didn't realize it was meant to actually be a hairball. I always thought it was a little weird. I was like, it looks like kind of fuzzy. What's up with that? Kind of meant to be like a hairball. Like a cat would spit up or something. But made of acid. Not the fun kind like LSD or some shit, but you know, like actual acid that burns you. I don't even know if that is fun, by the way. I have never indulged in LSD, and I'm not promoting it. I'm gonna make that clear right now. I just felt like that would be a funny way of mentioning that. I have no idea though. Even though we've been through here before, and I know there's not gonna be a note up here, I'm curious. I still want to check. Up here.
I hope those hash marks mean zombies.
Man, these give me the creeps more than them zombies.
Oh, this is what they meant. Okay, so when we came through here last stream, I was like, what's giving them the creeps? Like, I didn't understand what the hell they were referencing. I was like, the fact that somebody was sleeping here or what? I didn't see this. I completely missed this. Yeah, I get it. I think they're insinuating that there was a serial killer here who was taking advantage of the chaos to kill people, not zombies. And that's their kill count. That, I think, is one of the scariest, most overlooked things about a scenario like this in real life, if it ever happened. Like, if shit ever went Like, granted, zombies are not realistic enough to ever probably happen, right? But if something like that caused like society to just collapse, that would probably be the scariest thing, is that a bunch of closet serial killers who would dare not kill right now because they're lucid enough to be aware of the consequences and not want to deal with it, they would probably take advantage of the situation and do stuff like this. They'd be like, now I can actually kill people and probably get away with it. There's no more cops, you know?
Grabbing fire bullets!
Granted, people would probably already be, you know, at each other's throats, you know, for like resources and whatever, like you see in like The Walking Dead and stuff like that. But there would be some people who would just be trying to kill just for the sake of killing. It's a very dark thought to think about.
Weapons here!
You know, realistic to think about. It would probably happen. What I want to know is why there's a number under this one. This normal looking person here. I'm not sure exactly what the story they're trying to tell here is. It's pretty dark either way though. Alright, let's go.
After we shipped support for custom add-on campaigns via the VPK format, we realized that while many people can install and play these campaigns, it was difficult to discover what add-on campaigns other players were playing. We also noticed that few players were joining games of different difficulties since it wasn't clear how many other games were available for each setting. To solve this, we implemented a browser that shows nearby lobbies. The lobby browser displays the campaign, the difficulty level, and how many lobbies have open slots available. We also display lobbies for campaigns you have not yet installed, offering the chance to download them directly. Once the lobby browser was released, we saw a sharp increase in the number of custom campaigns being played. Custom survival maps are particularly popular, with themes ranging from supermarkets to medieval castles.
Dude, I forgot they did that. I completely forgot they actually, like, enabled and encouraged people to make custom maps. Until that node right there, I completely forgot that was a thing. They really gave this game a lot of replay value. That's so fucking cool, man.
The laser sight weapon upgrade came from an experiment during the development of the first Left 4 Dead, though we didn't end up shipping them at the time. While developing Left 4 Dead 2, when we were talking about interesting items that players could scavenge out of the levels, we remembered the visual impact of those red laser beams. The original intention of the item was to increase the accuracy of the guns, but the more valuable benefit was accidental. You could now see where the other members of your team were aiming. We also liked the choices that confronted players when they had to decide whether or not to swap out their upgraded weapon for one of a different style.
Which happened to me a couple times, yeah. I've always been a big fan of laser sights since I first saw that it was a thing as a kid. I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. Like, you'll actually see exactly where you're aiming instead of having to, like, you know, hope you're aiming. Like, just aim down the sight and hope you're actually gonna, you know. It's way more precise, basically, exactly what it's meant to do. But also, it's just like, it wasn't just that, it's also just like a cool effect for me. Like, I just kind of like, I just like that it's almost like another kind of flashlight, I guess. That's the way of putting it. I think it's kind of neat. I've always been a big fan of laser sights since I was a kid for guns. And I always wished more video games would actually put them into, you know, into the game. They rarely do. So I really liked when Resident Evil 4 came out, because then every gun in that game has one. Has a laser sight. But the style of gameplay for Resident Evil 4, it kind of just became like, you know, it's just the standard way to aim. The only way to aim when it first came out. And so I was just kind of like, whatever. In games like this, though, I appreciate it a little bit more, though. I like being able to see how where your team is aiming at all times, seeing the little lights go around. So, like, a movie where I really like a use of laser sights is Alien vs. Predator, the first one. They have green laser sights in that one. The little exploration crew that starts the movie, when they go into the ruins. And you just see their flashlights along with the green laser sight just pointing everywhere. And I really like that. I don't know what it is. It's just one of those things that's just oddly satisfying to me. I really like when guns have laser sights on them. Maybe it's just knowing that they have added precision with their aiming. It does something for me that I really enjoy. It's hard to explain, really. Like oddly satisfying, my OCD. I don't know.
Reload.
Precision.
Everybody in the sewer.
Reload.
The next best thing to me are like holographic sights. It doesn't project a laser, but it kind of gives off a similar effect. Like when I mentioned firing an M60 at the Las Vegas gun store, and it had a holographic sight on it. I really liked it. I like looking through and seeing on the glass right there, a big glowing target right on the glass, and using that to aim. Maybe because it kind of reminded me of having like a, you know, a digital crosshair in a video game like this little crosshair. It looked better than this, thankfully. It was like a full like circle and a little bit of complexity too. It was nice. Again, it was just another one of those things where I can't really explain it. It was just like oddly satisfying. Did I just kill her by jumping on her head? Should I have just... I landed on her head and she just went, oh, ah, and just fell over and died. She just fucking... I didn't know that could happen. I didn't think you could kill zombies by...
Man, Nick, you picked a bad day to wear your white suit.
Tell me about it.
He's just like, yeah. Yeah, I didn't know you could do that. You could kill a zombie like that. He just landed on their fucking head like a fucking Mario game, dude.
Alarms everywhere, people. Watch yourselves.
Oh, more laser sights.
After Left 4 Dead 1 shipped, we wanted to experiment with an optional crescendo event. The impound lot is the final version of that experiment. It's difficult for a survivor team to navigate through without setting off a single car alarm, and if they manage it, the experience of carefully sneaking through an obstacle course full of traps is itself quite rewarding.
Hey, I'm reloading.
Yeah, I do like this concept, yeah. But we need some more mayhem.
Careful. Watch your fire, and we'll be just fine.
What about if you step on it, Coach? He's like, motherfucker!
Here they come!
That just set off a bunch of more alarms. You guys got this, you'll be fine. How many of these cars are you gonna shoot? He's getting mad at me. But I'm not shooting it, I'm just standing on it. Ellis just said, well, alright, I can shoot a car too, out of spite. That's kind of cool, they actually get mad at you for that. Yeah, I'll help you guys out.
I'm out.
That ladder became a meat grinder.
Reloading.
I never knew they did that. I never knew that the AI partners would get pissed off at you for actually setting off the alarms. They started yelling shit like, dude, cut it the fuck out. Stop setting off the alarms. I bet they still say those lines even if you're playing with other people. Like the characters probably still yell that shit out at whoever's doing it, you know? The best was Ellis saying out of spite that he was gonna do the same thing because he kept doing that.
We on the bridge. We almost God damn!
He did it again. Motherfucker.
All right, guns.
Whoa. With the echo in his voice.
Since managing health with a first aid kit is such a large part of the player's decision process, finding a new item for the backpack slot proved to be difficult. We wanted the new item to be as valuable as a health kit in certain situations and have a big benefit for the team, as opposed to being merely another offensive weapon. It needed to have a user interface similar to the health kit, requiring a target and an action that takes some time to perform. We also liked the idea of an item that would act like a get-out-of-jail-free card, an insurance policy in case of a tank or witch attack. Our exaggerated version of a hospital defibrillator immediately conveyed the purpose of the item. Plus, it gives the survivors a chance to yell, "Clear!"
Oh, true. I didn't have one of these used on me, but it was something with a similar effect. It was, what's it called? Like this, it was this thing that actually like goes onto your chest. It kind of like almost like you're wearing it, rather than just something that you stick on somebody's chest temporarily. It was more like, almost like a vest, but not really thick enough to be called that. It just went right here on the center of the chest, but it was the same thing. It was just to defibrillate, to like restart the heart.
Weapons over here!
Glad I wasn't awake to experience it though. That's for sure. I don't think I would have found that very comfortable. I even asked the...
Alright. Shit. Nobody panic. We're gonna head down and find another way up onto the bridge.
I like the way he said that. He's just like, damn, we got screwed, but okay, we'll be fine. I remember asking one of the nurses about it, and he's like, yeah, we typically put people under for that because it's not a very pleasant experience. And I was just like, I'll take your word for it. I was like, put me under.
Something that was always sad for us to watch in Left 4 Dead was that players would always choose an optimized path through a level once they played the map a couple times. That meant the hard work we put into other areas of the map would never be seen. So one thing we wanted to add in Left 4 Dead 2 was the ability for the AI director to change the path of the survivors through a level, so they had to take a different path each time. The cemetery contains one example of this new approach. There are 4 different paths that the AI director can create for the survivors. It does this by spawning in and out particular crypts and gates.
So this is like what they were talking about with the multiple paths in the park, right? They said that originally they had intended to... The concept we're seeing here is what they had originally intended for the park, but then they eventually just opened it up and let people go through however they want. But then they used the concept here.
Reloading.
So we might have to take a different path from when I played through this last stream. Yeah, this fence was not here last time. So the AI director said, no, you're going this way this time.
I'm reloading.
Alright, wait, is that a Molotov?
Grabbing a Molotov.
Reloading.
Making my way downtown. Forgot the rest of that immediately. Y'all know how the rest of the song goes.
When we began development on Left 4 Dead 2, we decided early on to cast a totally new band of survivors in the lead roles. This involved extensive concept sketches and then a period of evaluating actors with the help of several talent agencies. Once the actors were cast, we brought them in for a full costume photo shoot and conducted 3D scanning of their facial features. This reference was then used by our artists to create high-detail digital sculpts, which formed the basis of our in-game characters. The goal from the beginning was to provide the player with a lineup of believable survivors, real people juxtaposed against extraordinary situations.
We gotta look at the rest of the character detail though. Give me 1 second.
When we began development on Left 4 Dead 2, we decided early on to cast a totally new band of survivors in the lead roles. This involved extensive concept sketches and then a period of evaluating actors with the help of several talent agencies. Once the actors were cast...
Yes, Ellis, it is. Okay, it is.
Fuck, we missed something Ellis said that I don't think he said last time. Shit. I didn't think he was gonna comment. He was talking about this. He said, you want to know why they buried him like that? And then I didn't hear the reason. Because the guy was still talking, the commentary note. I was trying to look at the character model details. Well, maybe we can still hear it if we go back and listen to the VOD. What Ellis said. Maybe. Let me see. I'm too curious, I gotta find out. If I can at least make out what he said over the commentary.
As a health kit in certain situations and have a big benefit.
We decided early on to cast a totally new band of survivors in the lead roles. This involved extensive concept sketches, then a period of evaluating actors with the help of several talent agencies. Once the actors were cast,
Yes, Ellis, it is.
No, I didn't catch it. The guy's commentary got loud enough at the last second that it completely drowned it out. Shit. Oh well. Shit. Yeah, it completely drowned out whatever Ellis said.
Grabbing the pipe bomb.
Reloading.
That's probably something funny too. That sucks that we missed that. I kind of wanted to say that, yeah, we took this.
Hey, Nick,
there was.
I don't like the way this smells. Do you?
What the hell is he talking about? I'm pretty sure last time there was. Yeah, we actually could go through here. Yeah, this wasn't here before either. These extra crypts. It's the AI director did this. This fence was here, I'm pretty sure. But these crypts were not here. Blocking this path.
Look out now!
This path might have been open too, a little bit. Maybe not.
Hey, watch out!
First aid kit here.
Watch out!
Didn't miss any nodes, right? No. Because it's randomized, they didn't really put too many here. On purpose. Alright. Well, let's keep going then. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun.
Safe house up ahead.
More nodes. Okay. Good.
Everyone, inside!
Yeah!
Yeah! Look at my little profile picture. I've had that profile picture since I made my Steam account. But I actually had it on a different... on my old ass fucking like Hotmail account too. Then I changed it eventually on that account, but I left it for my Steam account. Fucking sniper rifle kitty. I remember that being loud before. Maybe it's in... hold on, maybe we have to wait a second. When I actually land there. There it is.
Shit!
Well, it's official. They're trying to kill us now.
There you go. Shit!
Reloading!
It's kind of satisfying shooting them from the safe room. I don't know.
The writers originally devised a biography for a convict character. There was an idea that here in the lawless world of the infected, this escaped convict, sick of wearing prison clothes, had taken the effort to loot a very expensive white suit from an abandoned clothing store. He might as well survive the apocalypse in style. This concept gradually evolved into the Riverboat Gambler.
Which is Nick. Hey, we're finally getting some backstory on how they developed the characters and their backstories. I like that. The Riverboat Gambler. I gotta look that up. What the fuck does that mean?
Hey, Nick. They can't hear you because they're in jet planes.
Shut up, Alice.
I was gonna say he's right. I said this yesterday. He's actually not. Yeah. And see, Nick knew he got him on that one. Nick's always the one teasing and sort of picking on Ellis because he perceives him as being like stupid, you know? Like he basically stereotypes Ellis. And that was like, that's one of those rare moments where Ellis gets to tell Nick he's being an idiot and Nick didn't like it at all. That's why he was just like, shut up, Ellis.
Pipe bomb.
That's very true though. I said that yesterday. I was like, they're not gonna fucking hear you, dude. They're in a jet.
Reloading.
This balcony was designed as a fish in a barrel moment, where the survivors can come out to the street and pick off a bunch of the wandering infected without being in much danger. We felt it was a good introduction to our interpretation of Bourbon Street, giving a nice atmospheric vista without too much immediate threat.
Oh, that's nice. Well, this is meant to be Bourbon Street, okay. I'm not familiar with New Orleans, so I didn't realize this particular street was meant to be modeled off of that one, which I know is famous since I've heard of it, even though I haven't seen it. If I actually looked it up on like Google Maps or something, maybe I would recognize it here. Uh-oh. Shit, I hope my stream didn't go offline or something. I just saw in my chat, it says welcome to the chat room. Usually that means I went offline for a bit, basically, and then came back. Or I'm offline and just talking to myself right now. Let me refresh my stream preview real quick. Oh, no. Heard myself talking there, so. The bit rates, you know, it's whatever, it's like it usually. Alright. I guess it was a chat disconnect. Sometimes that happens too. Even if the stream stays intact, sometimes your connection to the actual chat room can just like break and reconnect for no reason. Switch things, you know?
Reload.
Level designers in Left 4 Dead 1 placed individual items, such as pipe bombs, Molotovs, and pills, all over the levels. The AI director had the ability to pick which instance of each item to spawn. This meant that pills would never spawn in the same place as a pipe bomb or Molotov. In Left 4 Dead 2, we decided that we wanted more variety in item spawning, so we now simply place an entity called a weapon item spawn. The AI director not only chooses whether or not an item will spawn in a given location, it also chooses what type of item will appear.
So it used to be only items will spawn here, only weapons will spawn here, basically. But now it's anything. It's a lot more random. Okay. I wonder why they didn't just do it like that from the beginning. Maybe they felt like it would have been too chaotic and unbalanced. They didn't want to take the risk, maybe? I don't remember that happening last time I came through here. What the fuck? The building exploding like that?
We got guns!
We deliberately sought to design iconic French Quarter locales that would be fun to fight in. This jazz club gave us a nice large interior space that offered a break from exterior streets and alleys.
Well, this is a good postcard brochure advertisement for New Orleans.
Reloading!
Because it does make me want to visit it just to compare. You know? I mean, I've also heard, like, you know, that it's a good touristy spot if you want to see what the culture is like. I mean, I've heard good things, you know? Kinda, sorta. Might be interesting to check out someday. Maybe. If it's still got the same vibe. I don't know what New Orleans is like nowadays compared to back when this game came out. But I don't know.
One of the challenges with melee weapons is getting them to feel right and look decent. In order to get the fire axe to look right when playing the game, it had to cross the screen within 3 or 4 frames. To enhance visibility, we swapped between the normal axe and a smeared version, along with a particle effect to cheat a motion blur. The smeared axe hits at the correct time, but allows your eyes to follow the action.
Yeah. That smear effect that they're talking. Okay, what they're talking about.
This right here messed some shit up.
Even this one.
Machete here.
Hey, it's my old shotgun. If we do end up having to do the finale, I would rather keep the AK. I'm pretty sure it's like the first game though. We don't actually do the finale. Just get to the end and it just ends, you know.
Hey, I'm reloading. Reloading.
Hey, I'm reloading.
Because sound is such a crucial gameplay element in Left 4 Dead, the designers needed temporary sounds to test out ideas for the new boss Infected. Sometimes we were able to pull temp sounds from unused performances in our library, but in Left 4 Dead 2, the sound designers did their own temp performances. The goal with these is to be just functional enough to test the new character's viability. As such, some of the temp voices for the characters were quite funny. While inappropriate for the actual game, some of the sounds were highly popular within the team, and it was common to hear animators up and down the halls mimicking the early Charger test calls.
Oh my god, I laughed too soon. I want to hear that again. I missed that.
Because sound is such a crucial gameplay element in Left 4 Dead, the designers needed temporary sounds to test out ideas for the new boss Infected. Sometimes we were able to pull temp sounds from unused performances in our library, but in Left 4 Dead 2, the sound designers did their own temp performances. The goal with these is to be just functional enough to test the new character's viability. As such, some of the temp voices for the characters were quite funny. While inappropriate for the actual game, some of the sounds were highly popular within the team, and it was common to hear animators up and down the halls mimicking the early Charger test calls.
Oh my god. Not a terrible idea, but the actual sounds they went with were definitely better, yeah. With the Charger. I said it earlier, but yeah, I think the Charger is my favorite for sure. The Charger's, yeah, little like.
Everybody okay?
Jesus. The incoherent mumbling from the Charger is definitely my favorite. Oh my god. Okay, no bulletproof vest is gonna take that many bullets and just leave the wearer unharmed, dude. That's ridiculous. They're just like just unloading everything into that motherfucker and he was just totally fine. The helmet.
Weapons over here!
We all saw RoboCop. Bulletproof vests aren't that good. That first, goddamn, that first RoboCop, dude. That scene is insane.
Got a pipe bomb here.
Turn that dude into pieces. Like, ain't no way anybody's gonna survive that. That many gunshots. The dude got turned into literal Swiss cheese. And he was still alive enough for them to turn him into a robot.
Left 4 Dead 2's level designers started out by experimenting with variants on the proven designs of Left 4 Dead 1. For example, we tried out several situations where there was a benefit to splitting up the group. We soon found that Left 4 Dead 1 had done such a good job of training people to stick together, it was incredibly difficult to get them to separate. We abandoned that experiment, but retained some of the elements to apply during crescendo events. For example, in the mall gun shop sequence, it can sometimes be advantageous to send 1 or 2 survivors to retrieve the cola, while the remaining survivors stay on high ground to provide cover.
Hey, that's a good, yeah. I like that they did that. They don't force you to split up, but they give you options. Yeah. And so this is kind of a similar thing. I'm sure that's why they put that here too. Okay. So once I jump down, I can't come back, so.
This is the only traditional crescendo event in the Parish campaign. In Left 4 Dead 1, every crescendo event was essentially a button press where players held out in one spot until the infected stopped coming. While we added the onslaught and optional crescendo variations, we felt that the old school Left 4 Dead style event still had some life in it.
Yeah, I'm glad they still kept some of them like that.
Looking at reference from New Orleans, we saw a lot of images of Mardi Gras. We decided we couldn't have a campaign set in that region without a parade float. We designed our float to look a bit sinister. Whereas most jester heads are typically bright and goofy, we wanted ours to be a bit darker and more scary, so we made the model appear more angular. We also chose colors that were less cheerful and more in keeping with the fall festival.
And they really thought it through. Attention to detail.
I hit it.
Good luck, guys.
Look out!
The Saints will never come. Alright, I'll do it.
Throw the pipe bomb!
Oh, we can get to see body parts go flying. God, I'm standing in the wrong spot for this.
Shoot that son of a bitch in the back. Reloading. Here.
I meant to grab the other one on the way out, but I couldn't pick it up.
Reloading.
Reloading.
I guess you have to be closer.
Grabbing me a Molotov.
What just happened? There's likely not going to be anything here. They don't make you have to go out of your way to find the notes. You just put them on the main path like this.
Valve has a history of supporting community developers and helping to promote their creations. And with the Left 4 Dead games, we've taken the opportunity to make the great content our community produces even more accessible with our new add-on system. Content creators can package new campaigns into a single add-on file, which end users can easily install. Users can now view titles, descriptions, authors, and other information for all of their installed add-ons via an in-game interface. Add-ons work seamlessly with the matchmaking system so that users can quickly get into games featuring community campaigns they've already installed and can easily download new ones to try. The response to Left 4 Dead add-ons has been very positive, and we were happy to see huge, all-new campaigns being played within weeks of the system going live.
So it's kind of like they made a system to easily install new add-on campaigns on the fly. Like they simplified it basically so that you could just join a lobby with a campaign you've never played before. You just download it and start playing right there on the spot without having to go like do some website to go download it. You know, I think I get what they're saying. So I'm not too familiar or experienced with most of what they're talking about when they say that stuff, because since I mostly played this game on Xbox, which didn't have that, I'm pretty sure, didn't have the add-on or community stuff that he's talking about. That was mostly a PC thing, and I didn't have a gaming PC back then. I played this mostly on Xbox. Excuse me. So by the time I got to playing this on PC in like 2015 or so, I mean the game's popularity was already gone, you know? People had moved on. And so I only played it like a little bit. I should have screenshotted how many hours I had played of this before I started streaming it, because I haven't played it since then. Like the last time I played this game was way back in like 2015 or before. Somewhere around there, I can't remember. But I'm pretty sure it was like 20 hours or less. Because I was just reliving the game for nostalgia, since I'd already had my fun with it on Xbox many years prior to that. I just played through it like once for nostalgia and then moved on PC. But I did notice that the PC version had all these other extra features, like the ones he's talking about. I just never, you know, I didn't really test them out. Like I said, there was nobody really playing the game, so I just kind of was like, oh, that's nice, and then I left.
Given the realistic nature of Left 4 Dead, players expect the zombies and survivors to move in natural ways. However, animating that kind of motion by hand is very difficult and time-consuming, and anyone can tell when it's not quite right. Since we don't want every zombie to move the same way, a large number of motions are required to provide enough variety. All of these constraints drove us to use motion capture. The process of motion capture really begins with the character designs. Once we've decided how we want the survivors and zombies to look and behave, we audition actors just as we would any other performance piece. For instance, a 265-pound high school coach moves very differently from a 115-pound TV producer. Using one actor for both roles would be a mistake. So we look for people who fit the body type and who can bring out the character's personality in their motion. On the other hand, in the case of the zombies, we consider them more like feral animals. So we'll use only one actor for all of them, regardless of gender. We then provide the studio with a digital character, a list of the moves we would like to do, and the props we'll need. Once actors are chosen, we head to the studio and spend a day with them recording the motions we need for the game. It's a very physically demanding day, and in order not to exhaust the actor early in the session, we oscillate the captures between high and low intensity actions. Just try crouch walking 40 feet as our survivors do, and you'll feel the burn. But that's just one of hundreds of motions we record for each character. During the session, we can watch the actor's motion applied in real time to our character model, and work with them to get the look we want. In some cases, we do multiple takes to let the actor provide us with different perspectives or to add some variety. We also record the actor on video during the motion capture to use for extra reference. With the motions recorded, the studio processes the data, and then it is up to us to extract the motions we want to keep. For some motions, we need to create loops. For example, to create a run cycle, we may only use half a second from the 3 seconds of running we recorded at the session. We augment these recorded motions with adjustments or additions by hand, and then compile them into the character models you see in-game. Realistic human motion is very subtle and noisy, and we can all tell subconsciously when it isn't quite right, even if we can't articulate why. Without motion capture, the characters of Left 4 Dead wouldn't be nearly as convincing or as interesting as they are.
Yeah. I can see that. The human brain is very intuitive when it comes to things that, well, it evolved to be familiar with, such as the way other humans move. So, I get what he's getting at. If it's not done quite right, your brain will notice that something's off, even if you can't tell what it is. Even if you can't consciously point it out, you just get that subconscious nudge that's kind of like, that person ain't moving right. There's something weird about that. You know, like, you'll actually see that in real life, or even in, like, you know, horror movies or something, where somebody's, like, diseased or something's wrong with them, and people are like, wait, why is that guy walking like that? You know, like you'll know even if it's something subtle, something people do catch on pretty quick. Bang, bang. We're almost at the end. This just go by a lot faster when you don't have to fight off special infected and a ton of hordes. There's no incoming attacks or anything, so. Just kinda, it's a relaxing little, like, chill walkthrough of the level. It's nice. Did I go the wrong way? Oh no. Yeah, you have to fall here. We're about to reach the finale.
After we shipped Left 4 Dead, we heard a lot of positive responses about the infected that were unique to their locales. There were patients in the hospital, cops in the streets, and TSA agents in the airport.
Thank you.
We wanted to add further variety to Left 4 Dead 2's campaigns, so we decided to include an uncommon common infected for each campaign. The first to be added was the Sita guy. Once we got him in the game, we realized that his uniqueness should not merely be visual, but should extend to gameplay as well. In the case of the Sita guy, his hazmat suit suggested that he should be impervious to fire. We extended this notion when we added the Mudman, the Clown, the Construction Worker, and the Riot Cop.
Attention to detail. There's probably nothing in the buildings. Turn him into a black gingerbread man. All charred, overcooked. Yeah. Over-baked, I should say.
Reloading.
Reloading.
Watch out.
Made it to the bridge. We're at the finale.
In Left 4 Dead, our designers could place alarmed cars in levels. When shot, these cars would flash and make noise, attracting the infected horde. Unfortunately, the alarmed cars would be located in the same position on every playthrough, taking away from the desired unpredictability. In Left 4 Dead 2, designers can now place groups of alarmed cars and let the AI director mix and match which cars have active alarms, if any. For example, in the section of the game that you've just played, there are 3 such cars whose alarm state the director can control dynamically, making this area less predictable from game to game.
Yeah, like that one right there. What's behind that van? But that car we just passed.
There's a safe room in the fridge.
That car we just passed had an alarm active last time, but not this time.
Y'all close that door.
Alright, well.
Close the door behind us.
Here we go.
Almost there.
Maybe we'll hear the conversation I was talking about last time. Where Coach is like, we're gonna cross that bridge, and the army's gonna take care of us. You know, that whole thing. Maybe. I think the sound of the laser sight activating.
All right, all we gotta do is cross this bridge, and we are finally safe. Or they're gonna line us up against a wall and shoot us.
No response. Damn, we didn't get to hear it then. At least I explained it last time though. I memorized that conversation because it was the one that was like the most impactful to me. Where he's like, where Coach is like, we're gonna cross that bridge and the army's gonna take care of us. And then Nick is like, or we're just gonna be thrown into like a lab and just be poked and prodded for the rest of our lives. You know, having blood samples taken and stuff like that because they're immune. Which is probably the most realistic thing that would happen to them, yeah. That's what my mind thinks happened to them after they got rescued here. They just became lab rats to find a cure. That is definitely what the military would do. But it didn't happen to the first group of survivors who got rescued by the military. you know, Lewis, Zoe, Bill, and Francis. They said they just got abandoned, right? Yeah, they said that the military left them to die. That was it. Well, we already heard what Ellis says here, so let's just go.
Rescue 7, this is Papa Gator. Over. This is Rescue 7, over. Rescue 7,
There's a soldier. Let's let him know we're here.
Repair ETA is 10 minutes, over. Did not copy. Say again, Rescue 7. Over. 10 minutes, over. Copy that. All lamps extracted. Last buzzer.
Somebody pick up the radio.
Copy that. Over.
Roger, Papa Gator, 15 minutes. Be advised, we've seen flashes on the west bank. Visually confirm west bank is clear. Over.
West bank is clear,
Somebody
Rescue
want to
7.
grab that radio?
Sector is clear. Over.
Negative. We are seeing something. Over.
Rescue 7, are you, seeing Whiskey Delta or friendly? Over.
Is somebody gonna pick up the radio?
Whiskey Delta or friendly? Over.
Papa Gator, we're not sure. We're seeing, multiple personnel and small arms fire. What is our current ROE? Over.
Rescue 7, all lost lambs are accounted for. Targets should be considered hostile. Only prosecute targets that are a clear threat. Over.
Roger, Papa Gator. All personnel on floating LZ. Clear for last buzzard run. Over.
Affirmative, Rescue 7. Keep the bridge deck clear. Last buzzard run will start in 15 minutes. Out.
Affirmative, out.
About to blow up the bridge and cover their escape, basically. This doesn't start the finale, so let me see what code says.
Hey, y'all! Stop!
Rescue 7. That's coming from the bridge. Last buzzard. Stand down. Stand down.
Bridge, identify yourself.
Hey, there are 4 of us on the bridge.
Bridge, are you immune?
We are not infected.
Negative, Bridge. Are you immune? Have you encountered the infected?
Encountered? Boy, I am covered in zombie blood and puke and eyeballs and 20 other parts I don't even recognize. We are immune as shit.
Rescue 7, are you equipped for carriers? Bridge, that sector is clear of friendly. Your only remaining pickup is on the east bank of the bridge. Our last chopper is leaving in 10 minutes. You need to lower the span and get across to the east end. Be advised, the bridge is crawling with Whiskey Delta.
Roger that.
Good luck, Bridge.
Crawling with Whiskey Delta. Oh, so that's what they... Huh. So they call the zombies Whiskey Delta. I don't know why. Shit, it looks like this is the game I was thinking of then. This one does let you do the finale in commentary mode. Alright, well then in that case, I better suit up properly. I'm gonna switch out the defib pads for a health med kit, so we can do the finale again, like last time. But first we'll listen to these.
This finale felt risky at first, since it involved the players just moving in a straight line almost the entire time. We wondered whether the experience would feel rich and varied enough. However, given the fiction and fantasy of the space, we found players were constantly making small movement decisions that kept them interested and immersed, and our concerns about monotony fell away. In addition, while we originally designed it to require constantly moving forward, we found that different players have different comfort levels for moving and shooting. Some players just can't do both at the same time. So we tuned the director to adapt to different playstyles, adjusting the pacing so that different players would still have a good sense of progress and be able to reach the end.
Yeah, I mean, I can move and shoot at the same time, but I'm not going to be accurate. So, it's, you know.
Game assets are more likely to make it through production if they serve the game on multiple levels. Take this bridge ramp, for example. Movement-wise, it acts as the starting gate. Audio-wise, it acts as the starting gun. Visually, it blocks and breaks up a potentially uninteresting view. Fictionally, the seizing malfunction and resulting loud bang make it clear that the players have attracted every infected on the bridge.
Oh, when it goes, like, it's because it's supposed to come down smoothly, but it always gets stuck halfway, and then, bam, it just slams at the end. It's not actually supposed to do that in real life, I got it. A malfunction. Alright, the finale might still be a little different in developer mode. We might not get special infected. It might even just be really calm and not actually have zombies rushing at us. I can't remember how it goes, so we'll see.
Once it's down, let's go.
As if that sound of the bridge coming down wouldn't be enough to attract the horde. No, apparently it attracts them when this thing slams on the ground. And we're off to the races.
Haul some ass, y'all.
Haul some ass, y'all. Yeah, see, I don't think we can get attacked here. So you're free to just kind of cross it normally. So you technically get to do the finale, but you don't, you know, you don't actually do the real finale. You just get to chill. There's more notes.
One of our most important tools for creating and evaluating environments was what we called the Left for Dictionary. This collectively developed set of terms, ideas, and gameplay grammar describes spaces via their physical properties, functions to gameplay, and their relative advantage or disadvantage to the survivor or infected sides. This provided the team with a shared language for types of gameplay spaces, with examples such as capillary, close quarters, open space, funnel, king of the hill, etc. It also allowed the team to talk about and explore new permutations of spaces in a very clear way. The Left for Dictionary proved instrumental in allowing us to efficiently refine our environments and tune difficulty based on an understanding of how each type of space would influence the gameplay. It was especially useful in this bridge map, where we start with a very uniform bridge and instead of rooms, hallways, etc., we create desirable game spaces using vehicles and damaged portions of the structure.
It's interesting seeing the skyline of the city back there, but also the water. It has a nice effect. It actually looks and feels like water. You know? From up here. And it looks far away enough to be intimidating to fall into. Like, yeah, that's just gonna hurt, you know? We can actually appreciate the bridge now because we're not running for our fucking lives.
Most of the region where Left 4 Dead 2 is set is quite flat. There are few hills or changes in elevation. But maps without any elevation change can be monotonous both visually and in terms of gameplay. That's why this double-decker bridge was not only a visually strong set piece, it added the much-needed element of verticality to the campaign.
I agree with that. If this had just been like one floor straight across, it would feel a little boring, yeah, by comparison. Again, the only thing I'm thinking of most of the time that I do this finale, I'm just terrified of running into chargers or tanks. Because they can just fucking one-shot you.
Stormy weather
Off the
effects
bridge.
give the director yet another way to influence gameplay by altering the player's sensory capacity. One goal of the weather effects is to draw the team together and put them in a defensive stance, such as taking refuge within a building. In this respect, weather is much like a crescendo event, but because it's entirely under director control, it can happen at any time, any place. The storm itself is created using a combination of particle effects, fog, tone mapping, local contrast, post-processing, DSP alterations, and sound effects. While technically a storm can strike in any environment, we chose to limit it to the Milltown campaign in order to provide a fictional background for the flooding of the maps. Thus, the storm is thematically tied to a new navigational challenge and creates a unique experience for that campaign.
Talking about the hard rain campaign, yeah. That's what makes that one so fun. The weather and the fact that you go back the way you came, but it's different because the weather, the increasing intensity of the weather changes the landscape a little bit. It's a completely different experience on the way back, even though you're taking the same route back. That's what makes that campaign so memorable. That's why somebody in Pizza Mate's chat, when I mentioned this game during one of our streams, said that was the best campaign, and I had already thought the same thing for the same reason. Very memorable. So I immediately agreed with that. I forgot what it was, but I was just like, yeah, I'm with you.
The grenade launcher came about purely out of our desire to see more explosions and more zombies killed by explosions. We found that something interesting happened when we gave one of the 4 survivors a grenade launcher. They became more vulnerable to close-up attacks, and their teammates adjusted their strategy accordingly. A pattern emerged where one player would lob grenades from afar at approaching mobs, and the other players would clear off the stragglers when they got too close.
Yeah. Coach said something kind of funny about the grenade launcher, but I shouldn't have picked it up until he stopped talking, because now he's not going to say it.
The grenade...
Oop. Wait.
Damn. This shit looks dangerous.
That's not what he said. But he said something way more long-winded that I wish we heard. Oh well.
The new campaigns in Left 4 Dead 2 featured a great deal more water than in the original game. Therefore, it was a priority to improve our water rendering. One of the most important new pieces of technology enabled artists to paint water flow uniquely on each water surface. This allows us to make the water look like it's flowing in any direction we desire without any constraints. This not only looks better, it aids gameplay by subtly guiding the player where they need to go. As an example, in the swamp levels, the water usually appears to flow towards the end of the level. And water is far more convincing when you can actually see it flow around obstacles like trees and rocks.
That's true. Is there some games where they don't do that? And it's just like, it just breaks the immersion. It just kills the immersion instantly. Where the water just kind of like disappears under an object. Instead of having the effect of actually going around it. Flowing around it, like you said.
Traditionally, players were connecting to our multiplayer games by selecting a server with available player slots from a very big list. Players might select a server by an appealing server name or network latency. This worked well for 24 or 32 player games, where many players could have a great experience even without tight cooperation with their teammates. But for Left 4 Dead franchise, a different approach was required. We wanted to build a group of 4 players who could start a campaign together, possibly as complete strangers, but quickly acquire the feeling of being a bonded team. Valve Matchmaking operates on a vast set of player statistics, from headshot percentages of friendly fire incidents to the likelihood of sharing a first aid kit with a wounded teammate. In the years since Left 4 Dead's release, our matchmaking system has undergone many changes, resulting in better player experience and longer average team playtime together. With the introduction of new team game modes, we now even measure performance of the entire team and do our best to provide the players with reliable teammates and worthy opponents. We continue to gather and analyze an abundance of statistical information from our real-world players and use that to improve our matchmaking system.
That was the first time I was able to actually pay attention to the chopper spinning up. As soon as it says rescue is here and the finale music, the actual like final stretch of the finale music starts, the chopper was completely off up until that moment when I crossed like this line right here. Tell him, coach. But so while he was talking, one interesting effect is that the chopper blades were actually a little down like this, which is realistic. And as they started spinning, they got up like that, which is, like I said, that's actually what they do. They kind of hang a little bit when they're really long, the chopper blades. And then they, you know, as they start spinning, they go up like that. They get erect. Yeah, because the centrifugal inertia will straighten them out, basically. The faster your wheels go, the less likely you are to fall off. Unless you hit a pebble or crash into something, then you're gonna hurt. Of course, I'm describing motorcycles at that point, but or bicycles. Oh, I didn't see this last time. You can actually use this to cover your friends. And then once they catch up, you get the fuck off and you keep going. That's pretty cool. Well, that guy's not gonna shut up about that.
For Left 4 Dead 2, the Source Engine received many new features and optimizations that enable it to handle denser, higher resolution environments, effects, and characters. This gave us leeway to fit additional weapons, creatures, and larger environments into the same footprint as Left 4 Dead, while increasing the quality of each element across the board. Many of our particle effects now use several new techniques which at least double their visual resolution while requiring no additional memory. This has enabled us to create complex weather effects such as the heavy thunderstorms in the Hard Rain campaign. The new zombie horde is considerably more variable than that of the first game, with higher resolution meshes and skinning. Not only do the infected look better, but using a combinatorial meshing and shading system, there's over tenfold the number of variations possible in Left 4 Dead 2 while consuming no new memory. The environments also feature considerably more polygonal density than the first game. Many elements that would have been painted into a texture are now fully modeled in the environment. Foliage looks cleaner, while also responding naturally to weather conditions. Additionally, water has gotten a major visual upgrade over Left 4 Dead 1, with far superior lighting, reflections, and flow mapping. All these pieces come together to improve the visuals of the game while keeping it smooth to play.
come down here, you can't go back. So if any of your teammates like fell down there, they're fucked. Oh wait, no, here's a ladder. Okay, I was looking for a way back up. Get in here. He sounds like every major content creator streamer nowadays. What they put in their title. Get in here. So you click on the stream with urgency, you know?
The Source engine uses two different methods for modeling world environments. A volume-based system for general forms and a polygon-based system for details. Each has its own advantages and disadvantages, and they must be integrated together to create a game map. One of the challenges associated with this setup is that the two systems have mostly separate authoring pipelines, and it's easy to make a change in one and break a tightly integrated set. As part of making the modular kit of parts that was used to create this bridge, we developed a new hybrid workflow that allows content authors to create and iteratively edit both types of world geometry simultaneously in a single tool. The resulting modules are pre-optimized Lego blocks that can be fitted together, allowing the level designer to focus more on gameplay and less on modeling.
That was a nice last tidbit. Alright, we made it. This is the end. Papa Gator's getting impatient. He wants us to get on, so... Can't even see it. I was like, Ellis, are you gonna get on or what? And there she goes.
Son of a bitch.
And that was the commentary mode. I feel like it was a little bit shorter than the first games, but I think that kind of makes sense given context. The first game was introducing the entire franchise, basically. Like, the entire concept of the game, right? This one was just introducing the new stuff they added for the second game. So it makes sense that this developer commentary mode was a little bit shorter. Although it took me just about as long to get through. Maybe it wasn't short and I'm just imagining it. But it felt like the nodes were a little bit more spread out and like there was less of them. So maybe I'm misremembering, but I don't know. That was fun. It was nice seeing the new insights on the new stuff that they added for Left 4 Dead 2. It was good. Good stuff. And we finished just in time for me to go to bed too. 1,689 zombies were harmed in the making of this film. That was all the NPCs too. I hardly killed shit. I only killed like 5 or 10 of those. That was all the AI partners right there. So, congrats on the AI partners for all those kills. At this point, I think Lantis probably already went to bed. Otherwise, she'd probably say something like, well, most of the time they get most of the kills too anyway, because you're always hiding in a closet somewhere, you know? Which is only true 50% of the time, alright? That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Bruh. I know. Anyway, I guess that's it. That's the commentary mode. So like I said, the plan for next stream... Oh, I shouldn't have shut that off. The plan for next stream, while I get my outro music ready, is I can just go to history, that'll probably work better. So the plan for next stream is that we're gonna do... I'm gonna showcase the survival mode real quick on both the first and second game. Should only take like 15 minutes, it's a very simple concept. I'm only gonna show like one stage too. And then I will go into the two like DLC community made major campaigns, I guess, that the Left 4 Dead 2 team decided to actually feature, which are Coldstream and The Last Stand. The Last Stand I actually only heard about by coincidence while watching one of Xenosis Vex's old FF14 streams. And then he actually streamed it too. He streamed himself playing with his friends this game, and he played The Last Stand for a little bit. I don't think he showed the whole thing. Yeah, the video was kind of short, but like it was an update for this game in 2020. Yeah, it was around like 2020-ish. Like when they talked about it, they were as surprised as I was. They were like, wait, Left 4 Dead 2 got an update? Like, it's been like, 10 plus years. They're like, they actually got like an official update, and they're like, yeah, they added a new campaign. It was called The Last Stand. This one, basically a campaign version of a survival level, which you'll see tomorrow. So, I thought that was interesting. It'll be I haven't even played Coldstream, as far as I can remember. I don't think I've played that. So we have 2 new campaigns to play. That'll likely be another 2 streams basically for next time. Get this ready. Here we go. Alright, I have to shrink this down first. Then extend it. Alright. So that's it for me for now though. So, as always, thank y'all very much for watching. I appreciate the support across Twitch and YouTube and any other platform I end up on. As always, please stay safe out there. Take care of each other. Don't die. And until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, and good night. And well, I'll see y'all next time. Peace. Take it easy, y'all. Take it easy.
Son of a bitch.